I suppose I am recording Thanksgiving morning. To everybody who celebrates it, happy Thanksgiving! And there's more meat than just turkey, if not no meat at all. But, but anyway, I've been holding back this werewolf guide for a phenomenal amount of time. These clips I have go as far back as me being level 2,900 and persistence being level 6,000. He's now level 7,000 and I am level 2,000. And I'm pretty sure Zypher, aka Chris, should be closer to 2,000 right now. So this footage has been held back for at least 2 to 3 months. I wanted to wait until I silvered him to make a guide so it'd be more plausible, but I feel like y'all trust what I'm saying. I'm just trying to make sure the information I provide is on par with what I actually experienced. Then I was like, and then I asked my server again. I'm like, I want to push it to bronze 5. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah. I'm still at bronze 1, but I've played at least maybe like 20 rounds or so. And this update just has so much stuff going on that I feel like Werewolf is just not, ignoring like my tier list video for a minute, Werewolf is just not there. But yeah, we're gonna get into it nice and easy so y'all can go help y'all family cook or eat or whatever the case may be. Werewolf's passive is pretty self-explanatory. When he detects, it slows everybody for 2.5 seconds. This is the thing that allows the survivors to identify that it is a werewolf in match. Which leads me to text that I will talk about later, or at least the most basic standard ones, where you as a werewolf need to be diligent about your knowledge on survivor spawns so you can minimize how often you detect. Because what a lot of werewolves do, what I normally do as well, is when you're close enough to a survivor where your extended range will make when you activate your active, and you detect at the same time to slow them, it counters loopers and it's pretty oppressive. So that's that. His active is called Feral Rage. When the werewolf activates his Feral Rage for 10 seconds, so it lasts for 10 seconds when it's proc, he will be able to move faster and vault faster while sniffing out blood trails. So he's basically Legion, but for Daybreak. Hitting a survivor will extend the ability by 10 seconds, creating a chain essentially. And he lunges 15% faster and vaults faster. Now, when your ability ends, it's an 80-second cooldown. And with this, 10 seconds is a lot, but it's also not. Like, you have to make sure you're close enough to a survivor to actually get use out of that ability. And I've made the mistake that I'm going to go over with a bunch of gameplays that I have of using my ability and only really getting one hit off of it and not getting a chain. The longest chain I've ever had was 5 hits, and I'm gonna go over that at some point. But now that we're done with... Okay, now. Adding on to that, actually. Werewolf's base, like his base stats, he has a longer detect because his ability is detect focus. Like I said, he's Legion. And his base lunge has a much longer cooldown than any other killer, essentially. I don't know what I'm doing right here in this clip. Oh no, I'm just raging. Casual Daybreak gameplay. But casual Daybreak gameplay. You just gotta suck it up. Where was I at? But yeah, Werewolf has a longer lunge than most killers just to accommodate for the fact that he gets a shorter lunge when he uses his ability. And another important thing about your active is you have to understand distance so you can create a chain. I have no idea what the longest chain is for Werewolf. If I find something on YouTube, I'll put it, or the fan wiki, I don't know, I'll put it on screen. But Werewolf is a high discipline character. You have to be very conservative about your detect because you want to use your detect as a way to slow down survivors at loops or on their way to loops, so you can get downs quicker. And normally what you want to do is when you're close enough to where you know you can hit, or where you know you can make your first hit for your chain, you detect and activate your active at the same time. And it's oppressive. It's very oppressive in the right circumstances. Another thing too, since a werewolf doesn't have anything to combat generators, you have to roam. I don't know why I swing so early right there. Please ignore my stupidity in this clip. You have to roam around just enough to where you can kick gens when you need to, but then spend some extra time in chase so you can get people down, if that makes any sense at all. Werewolf is like a principal and polluted hive mind to where you're fast, and yes, you have to kick gens. However, trails also matter, chase also matters, because your ability is chase focused, your anti-chase. So yeah. And when it comes to other tips I have, don't swing early like I am in this clip. I have better videos where I get better chains, and I learn not to hit as early as I do. It's a force of habit. It's just my muscle memory from when I played IDV, like on PC. I play it on mobile now, but when I played it on PC 2 years ago. And just, oof. As for maps, I'd argue, like I said on my tier list, Werewolf is good in a lot of maps. He's great on Lakeview. He's great on maybe Haverhill. I just think Haverhill's too congested for how fast he is. Yeah, Haverhill, Lakeview, definitely Wastewater. Wastewater's probably his best map. Roanoke, I'd argue, is a good map for him. Dawnwood would be okay as long as you have an 8 lobby and you lock house. You try to lock house and cabin, or everything behind house. And yeah, I'd say just those maps. It ain't the worst, it's not the best, but still good for what he has to offer. And another thing with that too, for his counters, any stunner, any gen rusher, any stunner are his counters. Literally. If you use your active and you get shot by a Gavin or stunned by a Mamone, and you have like 4 seconds of your active ability shaved off, you know for a fact you're not getting a chain. And he's difficult because of that. Because if you're chasing a stunner in a trial, you don't want to activate your Feral Rage because you don't want to lose your ability. 80 seconds is both a lot and not a lot at the same time. I don't know what that swing was there. But just, if any of what I'm making, if anything that I'm saying makes sense, you think wisely whenever you're in chase. Your decisions matter as a werewolf when you're in chase. Like any other killer, your decisions matter. But since you have no gen control at all, you need to really count and calculate how much time you're spending in chase and how many people are alive, because the more that are alive, the less you can get away with being in chase for like over a minute. Do I have any tips? First off, don't lunge early. That's a given. I made that mistake so much because I play boss so often that I'm used to the brass knuckle attack recovery, and that messes me up really bad. So it kind of leaked onto my werewolf gameplay here. Don't lunge early. Your lunge recovery is much longer than other killers. So you really gotta, like, keep an eye on that. When you activate Viral Rage, vault if it's necessary. If you can dodge around and still catch up to the survivor, preferably do that so you don't waste as much time. Another thing is count your chains. If you get up to if you get one person down, I mean, at least you got the detection. If you get a 2 chain, great. If you get a 3 chain, you are putting in good pressure. And if you get a 4 chain or higher, oh yeah, no. You're basically oppressing the whole lobby. And yeah, I kind of messed up that gate right here. I don't even want to look at it because it's just so weird, but I'd say if you get anything more than like a 2 chain, be happy. Honestly, it can be difficult to chain, so give yourself a pat on the back whenever you are capable of chaining. And just don't rage like I do, because it's not gonna help you. It's not good for your mood. And when you play Werewolf or any other lower-ish tier killer, you just gotta give yourself a pat on the back and be like, okay, I did good. We'll just move on. Now, in the background, I'm gonna have a little bit of gameplay throughout. Do I really feel like commentating over it at the moment? No. But I believe right here in this clip, I got a 2 chain? I'm pretty sure I got a 2 chain. Yeah, I got a 2 chain in the first clip. The longest chain I've ever gotten is about a 5 chain? So I don't really waste y'all's time. I'm just gonna put some clips of successful chains and failed chains, and I'm just gonna say why I believe this is a failed chain or why I believe this is a successful chain, because explanations. If I didn't dodge off in that corner or through that shortcut earlier to get to that generator, I could have possibly extended my gen, but because both ways seem so far, I guess I just naturally diverged towards the Fallen Trust loop. It happens. Like I said, I am nowhere near like Platinum Werewolf or Arisen Werewolf. No, I'm an Arisen boss and an Arisen Unforgotten. I am spoiled by my kids. I'm very spoiled by my kids of my mains. So, Werewolf was definitely a learning curve, but this is why I show you what I learned myself to minimize you going through the same thing. Or to be like, hey, this is normal. Don't rage so hard about it. I've done that before. Not worth it. But let me get to another chain. Those first 2 people were AFK. I didn't want to farm them, but they're sitting there, so it adds up to my chain. 25 seconds for a feral rage chain. Ooh. Yeah, no, it was done the moment I started chasing a Sierra, who was also persistence. Two of the worst mistakes you could ever make in Daybreak. Not to give that guy too much credit, but he's a Daybreakian OG, alright. So, I'm gonna be honest, the thing that carried that chain definitely was survivor reaction time and the fact that two people were AFK. So by the time I got up to the Dante and hit him once, my cooldown, my timer was at probably like 9 seconds. So when we added the 10 on that, that's 19. And then while I'm waiting for my attack recovery to go back down, we waste like 4 seconds. And then I hit the other AFK person, add that other 10 seconds, all of a sudden all of a sudden we're at 25 now. And those 25 seconds allowed me to catch up to that Yara and waste her ability, which added another 10 seconds. Then the Becca was close by, which gave me another 10 seconds. And that Dante was... I don't want to say that Dante was crazy, but that Dante, being the support he is, decided to run directly into me while Jonas used his ability to try to get away from me and gave me another 10 seconds. And because Jonas wasted his ability and he's just kind of trapped in this area while I'm still fast, that adds another 10 seconds. And then, yeah, so I just basically put that whole lobby to shambles in that trial. And this chain that you see now is definitely a failed chain, but I'd say if you feel like you're only gonna hit one person, okay. It's more beneficial though if you can get at least 2 people in one chain, just so you can have more pressure. Dang, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat after I upload this. And yeah, if you can get at least a 2 chain, perfect. If you get a 1 chain, oh well, it happens. So let me see if I can get... I think that's the best chain in this entire thing, is a 6 chain. So yeah, no, that'll be it for me for today. Probably tomorrow and the rest of the week. But to summarize it, put it in a TLDR. Werewolf is basically Legion for DBD. Legion for Daybreak. He isn't just that, but in terms of what his kit is capable of, it's kind of a similar premise. When he activates his ability, he becomes faster overall. He can lunge faster, and he can move faster and fault faster. And if you can connect hits during his active, you can form chains, which allow you to be faster for longer and apply pressure to players in the map during a trial. And so when you're outside of your active, you have to be wise with your lunge, and you have to be careful about how much time you spend in chase, so you're not roaming too much and you're still applying gen pressure, you're still kicking gens and all of that. Stunners can counter you by a long shot. Gen rushers can counter you if you don't spend enough time kicking generators and actually chasing gen rushers. You pretty much mostly counter loopers and gen rushers, so it's 50-50. And he's more successful on medium maps. I wouldn't really say small, but medium maps definitely. Or partially indoor. And yeah, he is a difficult character to master, but practice makes perfect. And I hope y'all have an amazing Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If you are celebrating any other holiday or anniversary or birthday, or so be it, I hope you have a fantastic day. We are at 2,800 and something public watch hours as of me recording this, and we are under 20 subs away from 1K, which I'm still baffled about. Y'all, like I said, y'all are such a blessing. Thank y'all so much. You're You're making one of my dreams come true. And yeah, just thank you for supporting me and believing in me and enjoying my content and enjoying the things I say. And love y'all. Stay creative. Follow your dreams. Peace.
This is a certified classic.